Michael said, just hang on just a second.
Okay. Oh, he's muted.
I should just be a couple of minutes. I was saying that to my little girl about
Oh.
waiting. So if you want to start, you go right ahead, but I have my camera work in just a minute.
Okay. Welcome to the Providence City Planning Commission meeting. It's December 9th at 6 o'clock. And we have with us Bob Perry, Joe Chambers, Laura Banda, Michael Fortune, and we're waiting for,
We have also Rowan.
oh, Rowan Cecil is
Yep.
there. And we're waiting for Brian, so maybe
There he is, right there.
Hello.
is he on?
I
Just
see
me.
Brian. Yep.
Handsome as ever.
And we've got Scarlett and Ryan, Scarlett and Ryan, city staff. Hi, Brian. Okay, we need to say a Pledge of Allegiance. And I will hold the flag.
I can do it.
And so, Brian, since you're standing up right there, you're on, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Our first item on the agenda is we need to approve the minutes of October 14th. The reason we need to do that is we didn't have a quorum at the time that we were approving them last time. We did approve them, but we did not have a full quorum because people were trying to get their computers to work. It was kind of a last minute deal. So hopefully you remember what we did on that.
I move that we approve the minutes for October 14, 2020.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second, this is Brian.
Brian? So Rowan Cecil moved to approve. Brian Marble moved, seconded. Any discussion? Michael, is your mouth moving? Are you talking? Looks like he's drowning.
He's muted.
There you
Okay,
go.
sorry
There
about
he
that.
is.
Okay. So was there any discussion from you, Michael?
No, I reviewed everything and everything looks good.
Okay. So with a motion and a second and no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Any
would like to
opposed?
abstain. I
Oh.
wasn't at the meeting.
Thank you. So
Yep.
Bob Perry is abstaining from the vote because he was not present. Okay, we
And
have,
just so you know, from my perspective, if I count right, I'm just an extra body here,
yes,
so I won't be voting.
we need,
They're trying to make a
is
motion.
it 5 voting members that we need or 4? 4.
5,
5? Okay.
including you.
Okay, so there's,
I'm 6,
okay,
but I'll
And-
stay throughout the meeting.
okay, thank you. We need also now we need to approve the minutes of our last meeting, which was November 10th. And so I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a
Approve the minutes?
motion. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes, Planning Commission meeting for November 10th, 2020.
And I second that.
Bob Perry moved that we accept. Who seconded?
Rowan.
Rowan? Okay,
Yes.
so Rowan Cecil seconded the motion. Any discussion? I didn't see anything that was
Looked
out
pretty
of
good to
line.
me.
Everything
Okay,
good.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I abstained because I was absent.
Because you were absent. Okay, thank you. So Laura Banda abstains because she was absent. And I say that for Jesse as he does the minutes. Okay,
Question, am I allowed to vote today? Do you want me to vote today? This is Brian Marble.
no, we have five voting members, so you are a participant but not a voter.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. We'll now come to the public comment. People who wish to express their views on issues within the commission's jurisdiction, they can email their comments, or people that might be present. So Scarlett, do we have anybody that emailed or texted or sent a letter or what?
Nope, we do not, other than the letter that Kent Dunkley asked that I send to everybody, but it doesn't pertain to tonight's.
Anything that we're talking about tonight? And just so the planning commission knows, I sent an email to him and asked him to share that letter with the neighbors because they're the ones that had the biggest heartburn with our decisions. So I think he was going to do that. Okay, so since there is no public comment, we'll close that portion of the meeting. We don't have a public hearing scheduled. There are no legislative action items on the agenda. And we have 2 administrative actions to take. The first one is an amended final plat. This is Providence Hollow subdivision phase 3, lot 20. Went to the variance committee and asked to be able to exit their property onto Spring Creek Parkway, which is located at 694 East, 535 North. And they were granted that exception. However, they did not change the designation on the plat. And that is evidently up to us to release that information and make it so that it is official. Did I do it right, Scarlett?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Ryan, I think Stephanie Swan was going to try. I sent her the public link. Can you see, is she?
She
Locked
is
on.
on. She is on, and if the chair would like, I can allow her to speak or not. I defer to the chair, but I was just going to mention that she is on
Okay,
and logged
good.
in the public. So
Yes. Let's have her say whatever she'd like to say. I'd like to see her though.
give it
While-
just a minute.
While Stephanie's coming on, if you'll notice on the staff report on page 2, under the conclusions of law, item number 3, it says Planning Commission finds the following as good cause for the amendment. State code up at the top of that same page under number 2 says the land use authority has the authority to approve a plat amendment if the land use authority finds that there is good cause for the amendment and no public street or municipal utility easement has been vacated or amended. We're not vacating this street. We're not amending this street. This is just an ingress egress. So it doesn't fall into that street category, but you do have to find good cause. And I'll leave that up to the Planning Commission to fill in that letter A as part of your motion if you choose to approve this.
Okay, well, let's hear from Stephanie first, and then we can deal with that. Thank you, Scarlett.
Okay, thank you guys for hearing my application for a plat amendment. I spoke with Scarlett earlier today because my understanding of necessity for each of the steps of going through this sort of thing is minimal, as you can imagine. You guys probably deal with it all the time, and I'm just wading through waters I'm unfamiliar with. So the variance, we applied for the variance so that we could get access to the lot on the south side of the lot, which is on Spring Creek Parkway. And my understanding for the reasoning behind having the internal lot restriction of no access on there was due to the Providence City Code, which could restrict access on specified roads. And so we went through the variance process as the city suggested, and the variance was granted. So I guess my understanding is the appeals authority hears that and makes the judgment on whether or not that's approved. And like I said, it was approved. And so now, just to make everything jive and be legal, is my understanding, then we need to remove that internal
We're losing her.
Pay attention to the
of no access on the parkway. That's why I'm asking for the amendment.
Okay, so you're just appearing to, just to let us know that that needs to be done?
I mean, that's my understanding, is that the variance clears the city code, and then coming to you guys with the plat amendment removes that internal lot restriction.
So we need to,
And I guess
number 2.
in speaking with Scarlett, my understanding is that the lot restriction has to be removed so that we can have access regardless of the variance. So I guess just to keep everything in line with each other, I need to have the plat amended. And the reasoning for it is that we've already taken the variance before the proper authority and received approval for the variance. Is that how you guys handle that sort of thing?
Well, the variance committee made the recommendation, and so we need the land use authority. We need to approve it now.
Yeah. So is there any questions that you have for me as far as like what went into the variance, or
Yes.
okay.
The question is, what's wrong with the north side of the property?
Well, there are some significant issues with the topography of the lot. It has a ledge on the south side, is the highest point of the lot. And then there are some steep slopes that are unique from other properties in the area. And then kind of a ledge in the middle of the property and another steep slope. And my concern with building from the bottom is the amount of excavation that's going to have to go into putting a house in with access from that backside. So we had some engineers take a look at it. They agreed that disturbing the slope by going in from the north side of the lot is going to increase the possibility of erosion, and that it would be better topography, according to the topography and the disturbing the slope and future erosion, it would be better to go from the top side, the south side.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Stephanie?
Just a clarification, this is Bob. On the map, we're looking at lot number 20, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. So, with that explanation, it has been to the variance committee, and they looked at it, studied it, decided that it merited making this change. And so they're handing it off to us to see if there's anything that we feel strongly about in making those changes, and for us to sign off on them. So with that said, I will entertain a motion.
I move that we
Question.
approve an amended final plat for Providence Hollow subdivision, phase 3, lot 20, by removing the internal lot restriction and allowing access to Spring Creek Parkway.
Okay. And the reason to do that, do you want to include number 2, Rowan?
Number 2, Bob and I are looking for number 2.
Under findings of fact.
You right there?
Just put it down. Okay, yeah. You'll be on camera in a minute. You probably don't want to be.
Yes. Number 2 says the recorded final plat states that lots 3, 20, and 25 shall have no driveway access to Spring Creek Parkway. Lot 20 is labeled no access, and so we are.
This is
making
number,
this change.
Rowan, this is number 2 under finding of fact. And it's in the amended plat, amended final plat analysis
Okay.
done by the staff.
We found it.
Okay,
Okay, the UCA 109A-609 gives the land use authority this authority to approve a plat amendment of the land use authority finds that there is good cause for the amendment. And no public street or municipal utility easement has been vacated or amended. That is the way that thing fits.
okay. So you're adding that to your motion, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And your motion is to approve?
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
what is the good cause? What good, I mean, is it because of the topography? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what is the good cause for making the amendment? That's what you need to say. Not that you find good cause, it's what is the good cause you found?
the good causes described by Ms. Swan is that to prevent erosion.
Kathleen,
Yes.
I would almost say that under the, you could almost say the findings and conclusions of the Land Use Appeal Authority, you could identify number 6 and 7. Because that's what I look at, and that really says because of these issues out there, which is basically what Ms. Swan said, the topography and the slope and those conditions is why the matter was approved. And so I would almost say that because of that cause, for good cause, that is the good cause of making approving it.
Yes,
Okay. So Rowan, if you would like to amend your motion and state it in that way, we'll have a
have to do the whole thing, or can I just add to it?
good.
The proposed approval of this is due to the slope and topographical conditions of the subject property.
Okay. So your motion is to approve it based on the variance that was granted, and that was granted on the basis of topography and making the lot so that it didn't erode.
Yes, due to slope and topographical conditions.
Okay. All right. So do we have a second?
I would second that.
Okay, Michael Fortune, second. Any further discussion?
I have a question on it,
Okay.
and it's really more of an educational issue for me, because I'm not opposed to what Ms. Swan wants to accomplish, but I just want to understand the process. So when this originally came before the Planning Commission, the developer and the Planning Commission agreed to have the internal notation on this lot. Is that accurate?
Scarlett.
Yes,
will
that's
answer
correct.
that.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that was based on a city ordinance that did not allow access to certain public streets. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Okay. And so, I guess from my viewpoint, the good cause would be simply that the Board of Adjustments or the Board of Appeals, whatever the proper title of the body is called, found that there was justification for the variance. And I would think that would be in addition to whatever cause is there, that probably should be added. And with that, I'll be quiet.
So are you suggesting that we amend the motion?
To include, I think, the language that Michael wanted included.
Okay, that based on the approval by the variance committee for good cause to allow the use of the lot without disturbing those elevations.
I just think the good cause is the Board of Adjustments has already found that a variance is proper, and that on a basis alone would be a good cause. And just an additional educational note to make sure, even if we recommend this, it still has to go to the city council to approve, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
No,
No, oh no, we're the final on this, right?
Yes.
Okay,
the planning commission is the final authority on plat
The
approval.
land use authority.
Thank you. Like I said, it's an educational process. I wanted to know that. Thank you.
okay, so Ryan, help me here. Do we need to amend the motion then to add that? Scarlett, Ryan,
I think
Without,
you have a nice, clear motion is always best.
okay. Okay, so,
Oh,
I'm trying to make sure that we get the protocol right here.
And that.
I think it was done really well.
Can we just amend that motion to add that statement? Or do we have to start over?
no, you can make a motion to amend the motion by adding whatever statement, however you'd like to word, by adding that you find good cause because the appeal authority reviewed the case, granted the appeal, and listed the reasons for granting the appeal in the report that was attached to the agenda packet.
Okay. I hope Jessica,
Joseph,
I hope
Joseph,
Jessica can read all of that.
okay.
All that.
Joseph, can you make that amendment to the proposal?
I can't hear what you're saying. Are you talking to me?
I say you can make the amendment to what was been already recorded.
I would move to amend the motion to add as additional cause, not only that reason stated by Commissioner Rowland, but also that the Board of Adjustments found that the Board of Adjustments granted a variance on the property for the reasons they set forth in their decision.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
then you need a second on Joe's motion, and then you vote on Joe's motion. If it carries, then you vote on the original motion.
I
Okay.
second Joe's.
And who's that?
That
Bob?
was Roland.
Oh, Roland? Okay, Rowan seconded Joe Chambers' motion. So we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor of
Aye.
Joe's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Scarlett, were you trying to say something, or maybe Laura, that was your voice that I heard?
Now the next one is, Kathleen, is now you've amended the motion.
Okay,
Now you need to vote on the original motion that's been now amended.
okay.
And you have to need a second for that.
No, you
we have
got
a
your
second.
motion, and now you've approved the amendment, so now you're voting on the the original motion as amended.
Okay,
You don't need a second, that's what you're doing now.
okay. So now we have a vote. Unless there's any further discussion, we need a vote on the first motion that was made by Rowan Cecil
As amended.
as amended. So all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Whoa, was that technical enough? Okay. Okay, the next item on the agenda is.
Thank you, Stephanie, for your help.
I appreciate you guys very much. Very educational, and I appreciate the outcome as well.
Okay, thank
Good
you.
luck.
The next action on here is it's an approval on an amended final plat for South Edgewood Hall subdivision, lots 4 and 5 and parcel 03-06-0016. And it's in the general area of 500 Edge Hill Drive. What this is these lots are all owned by one family, but the lot that is behind is like a flag lot with no access. And so they're requesting a lot line adjustment, a boundary adjustment, so that they create an access to this lot that's behind the other lots.
Once again, when you get ready with your decision, you just need to state why you feel there is good cause to approve this. It is not amending a street nor municipal utility easement. And it is not creating a new lot. One lot is getting smaller, and the parcel that is gaining property was not in a subdivision. That's the reason it does not have a lot number. It's a parcel. And so the lot in the subdivision is reducing its size. The parcel is increasing its size. So no new lot is being created.
So again, it's just a lot line adjustment.
Correct.
So I'll entertain a motion. On this.
I'd like to discuss it a little bit. Why are they going to be building on parcel 16? Is that the intention here?
It's my understanding that they are just trying to get their affairs in order as a family to make sure that the properties are able to be sold and make sense if they no longer own them. But there are no immediate plans that I know of to do anything with these lots other than adjust these lot lines.
So 16 does not have a residence on it at this point.
No. It's just an empty lot. Scarlett, can you shed any more light on that, or is that pretty much sums up what's going on with that?
That's my understanding as well. Parcel that ends in 16 does have a small shed on it. And if you notice in the conditions on the staff report, one of the conditions is that the proposed plat shows an existing shop on 03-086-00. Oh, I made a typo there, I apologize. That encroaches on lot 3. The shop will have to be brought into compliance with city code prior to the issuance of a building permit. And then there's another condition that says if the driveways remain as shown on the proposed plat, access easements to lot 3 and parcel 00860, or excuse me, 03, 086 and 0002 will have to be granted. So we can't create an access for one parcel and destroy the accesses for the other two. So they will have to take care of that as part of the condition. But
that's only when they're gonna build, right?
well, they should take care of that right now, actually, and the way it is on an amended plat, you approve the amended plat based on their sketch, or in this case, a survey, and then they actually take your comments and prepare a recordable final plat. So they will have to make those notes on that recordable final plat.
Okay,
If you approve it with those conditions. If you keep those conditions, then they'll have to incorporate those conditions into the recordable final plat.
okay.
So in my looking at the new two parcels, parcel A and parcel B, it appears as though the driveway to parcel B is on the new parcel A's land. I'm guessing that they're going to take care of all that and we don't have to worry about it.
Yes, that's what the condition that I was just talking about.
Okay.
Condition number 3, that's what it was dealing with, is to make sure that they take care of access into the 2 existing lots.
So it appears that this will not be a flag lot when it's done. Am I correct in that assumption? I don't see a flag lot when it's done. So this is actually good for everybody.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? We don't have anybody here to speak on that, do we?
I've not heard from the family today, so unless Ryan has someone that he's not recognizing, either they would be either the last name of Johnson, Vanderford, or Bishop. If they're on, they may be waiting to speak, but I have not heard from anyone today.
Okay.
I do not have them on at this point. Nobody recognized that way. Nobody unidentified is on.
Okay.
And I don't have any additional comments that have come through during the meeting, so.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion then on this.
I'll make a motion that we approve the amended final plat analysis on parcel ID number 03086-0002 and 03-086-0016. Address of 500 Edgeville Drive, to include the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and the conditions.
I second that.
Good job. Okay, any discussion? We have a motion by Bob Perry, a second by Rowan Cecil. Is there any further discussion on this? Okay,
One from me.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Wahoo, it passed. Okay, that concludes the information that the duties that we have on our agenda. I would like to ask this group to review the city's newsletter that went out with the utility bill. There is some information there about the governor's mandate for us to consider and plan for affordable housing in the city of Providence. There are some deadlines associated with putting that together. So if you will review that document on our next planning commission meeting, which by the way, will be on the 30th of December. We have a couple more things that need to go on the agenda. And in the spirit of trying to fill the needs of our developers and builders, people who are trying to get on with the building process of their properties. We will have another meeting so that we can serve our citizens in the way that they is in a timely manner. But we will also have a discussion item about the governor's mandate for affordable housing and what that means for us and what we're planning to do since we are planning and zoning. So please review that document. It was well done. The mayor put some things in there and Ryan put some information in there. The information that Ryan put in has 5 or 6 points in it. And so anyway, be prepared to discuss that at the next meeting, if you would, please.
Chairwoman, I have a request, please.
Yes.
I've read through the report, the request by the governor, and it's very interesting. I would like to hear from the chairwoman what her feelings are about affordable housing in our city, as not as a point of discussion, but as a point to start our discussion so we can be thinking about when we get together and have this discussion.
Okay, it's not an agenda item tonight, so I'm not prepared to discuss it right now, but that's a great thing and I'll think about it and I can send out to you some information about it.
Okay.
But
Sounds fine.
we won't discuss it tonight.
Can I ask for
it's
a,
important. Joe, did you have a comment?
I would just like to have the Ryan be prepared to address perhaps how the city plans on doing that, because as I read the newsletter, I considered it to be a market-driven situation. And I have a client who does put in low-income housing, but in order to do that, he has to get assistance from the Utah Housing Authority to be able to underwrite a certain number of units.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I don't have any magic formula to bring to the discussion, but maybe we need to get and have, and I'm not pushing my client for this, but he's the only person I know who I would talk to as to how to get the economics for a developer to create the housing in the first place, because it's obvious that the developers that are bringing projects to the Planning Commission in the city right now are not providing for low-income housing. So maybe if Ryan could help us out.
But we need to gather as much information as we can, and we need to take as much information from other people. So let's talk about it, and we can get him on the agenda and have him give us information. I mean, we're certainly not expected to make decisions in a vacuum. So all the stuff we can put together makes for better decision. So
thank you.
And that goes for all of you. If there's more information that you might have that you can bring to the table, that's why we're going to have a discussion. And we're not going to make a decision, obviously, next time, but it's in our best interest as representatives that make decisions about planning to present to the city. I think it's our responsibility to get as much information as we can so that we put forward good information to those other people in the city that are making decisions.
Kathleen,
Yes.
may I add to your list of reading, if you would pull up Providence City General Plan 2020 and look at the chapter on affordable housing or moderate income housing. I think it's chapter 6.
Okay.
It has a list of objectives and strategies that were put together. It took some time and some thought. And then Ryan will have to correct me because I don't have it pulled up. I think it was in March of 2020 is when they approved that general plan. And so that that could help you, Joe, with what the city has got listed in the general plan, at least for goals, objectives, and strategies.
Thank you, Scarlett. I appreciate that.
Yep.
So if all of you would make that note and review that as well, so you come to the table with that information. Great point, Scarlett. Thank you. Ryan, anything you want to add?
No, I think that was a great point, that I would refer to the general plan. It is the adopted policy of the city.
Right.
As far as the vision, and it would be the master plan for affordable housing would be inside the general plan. That's one of its requirements. So I would definitely, if you haven't reviewed it, if you're new, if you weren't a part of it, that should be a guiding document for what you're doing as far as the planning hat that you wear. You should all read it at least on an annual basis, if not reference it. It's referenced in everything we do. You'll see it, that's part of the findings of fact that Scarlett puts together is that mission and guiding principles. The general plan should be a really good guide for you in your job.
Great point. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have a request.
Yes.
Can we get an overview of the projects that are expected to be coming in December 30th?
Yes, we can. We can send those to you.
Are you talking about for the agenda packet?
No, oftentimes Scarlett would provide developer plans that are on in process coming to the city. So we had an idea of what's coming prior to receiving the agenda. So I'm asking if we can share those.
So you're asking for a report on development that's in the works within the city staff right now, an update on that?
And particularly what's coming, what we're expecting December 30th. That's a hard date for a lot of people with families and things, but.
So you're looking for that at this point in time?
We used
to
to
have that.
Yeah, Scarlett used to, at the end of each meeting, give us an overview of developments that are in the works. I'm just asking for that, if that's possible.
There are two. The one, though, is a kind of iffy, so I'm not going to go over that one because I don't know if that's going to be a firm application or not. But the other one is for the final plat review for the Ballard Springs subdivision, which is the senior community, the proposed seniors community or active adult, I'm sorry, however it's worded. That proposed community that's off of 5th South and about 5th West. That's the one that is a definite committed to trying to get everything ready for you to review.
Thank you.
So if that being like between Christmas and New Year's, we'll have a preliminary discussion on the governor's affordable housing, but we'll try to keep the meeting short so that we can get it taken care of and people can get back to their families. I will have family here from New York as well, so.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have some in-laws, but the meeting can go as long as it would like.
I got grandkids, so keep it short.
Michael.
Yeah, just to remember, you have covered your agenda and you are still public and being broadcast to the public. So just so you know.
Yes. Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn this meeting.
Okay, we have a second?
I'll
Rowan
second.
Kiesel?
I'll second, Laura.
Okay, Laura Banda, second. All in favor?